Hey, what's going on? Jeff Ratcliffe here. And you know, it's fantasy draft season. I get asked these questions all the time. Which player do you prefer, player A or player B? So why don't we do it at the very top of the list, potentially the top players taken in your fantasy drafts in 2018, Todd Gurley or Le'Veon Bell. Which player do we prefer? And of course, Le'Veon Bell coming off a massive 400 touch season. We know it was great for fantasy. Anytime a running back touches the ball, it's good for fantasy. Finished second in PPR scoring. But the big thing with Bell that you absolutely love, especially if you're in a PPR league, is how heavily he's involved. Not just in the run game, but in the passing game, right? Every time these guys catch the ball, you're adding value in those PPR formats. Last year, over 100 targets and 85 catches. 85 catches is a massive number for a running back, so heavily involved there. And you know what's beautiful about Pittsburgh this year? We could see more up-tempo out of this offense. So faster pace under Randy Fichtner, who's now in there as the offensive coordinator. Faster pace means more plays. So more plays for Le'Veon Bell. Now I know everybody's saying this. We're concerned about the holdout, which is a viable concern. But in the same right, he held out last year as well, and we saw how that ultimately worked out for Le'Veon Bell. He's going to be on the field. He may be a little rusty in week 1 and 2, but so is everybody in the NFL. So what about Todd Gurley? Todd Gurley coming off the massive bounce-back season last year. He was really one of the biggest fantasy disappointments in 2016, so it was really amazing to see this turnaround where he ends up finishing as the #1 fantasy running back. Not as many touches as Bell, but still 355, which is an enormous number, and also heavily involved in the passing game, which is something that really he wasn't doing much of when Jeff Fisher was the head coach in Los Angeles. But of course, Sean McVay coming in, that really changed the scenario there for Todd Gurley and for the Rams in general. Todd Gurley heavily used in all phases and benefited from that offense in a big way. My one concern with him, if there is any knock, is the 19 touchdowns that he scored last year. Touchdowns in the NFL are hard to score, and we don't see that consistently from year over year, especially when you put up a massive number like that, so we could see some regression. So, all right, who's my choice? I'm going to go with Le'Veon Bell. I know we're splitting hairs here ultimately, but for me, it's the touch volume that trumps it. I do think Todd Gurley comes down a little bit in touchdown production. He is still a fine choice at #1. I'm not going to talk you out of it, but if I have my pick, I'm going with Le'Veon Bell. Who do you like more? Why don't you tell us in the comments below? Of course, subscribe for more videos here from Pro Football Focus Fantasy, and head over to the website as well for more fantasy football goodness. That's profootballfocus.com.